You probably won't believe me when I say this, but this is the most important video I've made on this channel to date. Why, you might ask? Well, it's because the story I am about to tell you is literally bigger than this entire channel. Everything, every video I've ever made, the community we have built, literally all of it goes back to this. Without this story, I wouldn't be standing here talking to you today. I certainly wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. My life would have gone on a completely different path. Because what I am about to tell you is the literal reason I have even started arm wrestling in the first place. And to understand why, we have to go back. Way back. Autumn 2022 was a fascinating period of my life. It was a time when this guy first appeared, and also this guy. This was when no one was aware of the fact that this would end the internet as we all knew it. But I'm getting sidetracked here. Most importantly, it was a time of my life when I fell into the manosphere. A red pill cult which to a very impressionable 16-year-old me who felt hurt and disrespected by everyone around him spoke on a deep level. This period of my life brought on a few things, and other than having very wild and interesting opinions, it got me into the gym, which was probably the best decision I could have made at the time. This one change made me physically stronger. It made me emotionally more resilient, but what I felt was most significant was that my confidence finally seemed to be improving at one point in my life. And that brings us to the fateful day of December 2nd, 2022. It was a school day like any other, or at least it seemed like at first. As for a reason completely unknown to me at the time, it would become one of the most impactful of my life. I am sure many of you have experienced something similar, doing something completely ordinary. And for us, that meant doing some school table arm wrestling. And my performance? Well, it went quite fine. But there was one exception to the rule. There was this one particular man who absolutely kicked my ass, putting me into the worst arm wrestling position I have ever been in. And that fact hasn't changed to this day, I believe. And you know, I couldn't understand it. It didn't make any sense to me. I was like, bro, I've been training so well. I've gotten way stronger, I should at least have something against him, but there was no chance. So that day I arrived home, I sat down at the computer and started searching. How do I beat someone at arm wrestling? The next day I came back and I begged him to try again. And I was confident that now with all of these new and improved techniques, it would make a difference. But of course, it would end the exact same way once again. And this wasn't just some guy I happened to arm wrestle at school. Let me introduce you to Hala, one of my closest friends in high school. We spent a ridiculous time together, we hung out, we talked shit, we did stupid stuff, and obviously somewhere along the way, arm wrestling just became this connecting point between us. And that's what made it so strange, because on one hand he was my good friend, but on the other, he was the one guy I just couldn't fucking beat. And the more I trained, the more I improved, the more that started to get into my mind. Every once in a while, there was this voice in my head that was telling me, man, I should be able to do something. A few months passed and again I thought, now I'm gonna beat you. No. So once again, I went on the net, I started searching, I started gaining knowledge. And after a few times of this loop occurring again and again, arm wrestling started to seep into my brain, into my gym training, into my day-to-day life. I started implementing back pressure, cup, rising. I was slowly evolving, and that would lead me down the biggest rabbit hole I have ever fallen into. Because I found out that arm wrestling, as a serious sport, actually exists. And it is hella cool. Devon Larratt, Hermes Gasparini, Levan Saginashvili, Vitaly Laletin, Alex Skordecha, Georgi Tsvetkov, Kamil Jablonski. Of course, around that time my favorite became Devon Larratt, because in 2023 he had an insane win streak, he was improving on a ridiculous level and performing amazingly at East vs West every single month. So us and also another good friend of mine, we munched those live streams, got those pay-per-views, and it was an amazing experience. Speaking of pay-per-views, if you want to get the pay-per-views for East vs West 26, then make sure to use the link in the description and use the code YAN to get a discount of everything. It helps me with my journey and supports me doing what I love. On to the video. Watching these amazing athletes, realizing that it's such an amazing community that is just exponentially growing, it fueled me even more to improve myself. I wanted to get my revenge. So I kept optimizing. I found new ways to improve, I started tracking my PRs, I got better equipment, and slowly I started to get the better of Hala in training. We trained in the winter, we trained in the summer, it didn't matter, we trained literally all of the time. In June of 2024, a date was set. Our first fully serious match. And I prepared like crazy. I finished the best, the most consistent training block I ever had. I applied all of the Devil techniques of maximizing the pronation, the riser, the back pressure, and I went at it. A lot of emotions started building up inside. A lot of anger that I simply just couldn't get him. I wanted revenge. I wanted to show him that I am about to surpass you. I am gonna get you. I am gonna beat you. I am gonna defeat you. I'm gonna be too aggressive, too ferocious, too good. I became better than ever. I had a great game plan. I had everything thought out. I knew exactly where I wanted to attack. And when the day of the match came, I was extremely confident. I was gonna attack the wrist and... that loss, absolutely devastating. At that point, I was even considering quitting the sport, honestly. I felt that, there was just no reason for me to continue, right? I put all this work in, while Hala wasn't training nearly as hard as me. I'm completely certain of that. So during the summer break, I started to delve into all kinds of different activities. I raced a triathlon. I ran a 10K in under 50 minutes. I got deeper and better in calisthenics. I was just enjoying life, doing all sorts of different activities. But with that came an absolutely insane, rigorous training plan. I tried training for running, bodybuilding and arm wrestling at the same time. And eventually I realized that this is completely unsustainable, especially as a natural athlete. And I had to choose. I had to find my passion. I had to find the one thing I would be able to focus on and feeling like it fulfills some kind of purpose. At first, running truly started to seem like a passion of mine. I seemed to be very genetically gifted for the sport, I had great cardio, but my choice would become clear on October 20th, 2024, as that was the day I first walked into an arm wrestling club. And honestly, it was one of the most fun I have had in years that day. When you are doing the sport you love so much against others who have the same passion. My decision was clear from that point on. Maybe I would have had higher potential in other sports, but arm wrestling was just so much fun, man. From that first club training session, I slowly and surely started to go more and more all in. Every month I was updating my training based on the current PRs. I was constantly increasing my numbers, learning about different techniques, optimizing, working on my speed, on my isometric strength, learning to move in different positions. At the same time, Hala was also training, but he wasn't nearly as committed as me. I once again in my life became more and more certain of one thing, but this time I was truly certain. I'm gonna beat this guy one day. If we were to ever face again, I'm gonna get the better of him. In summer of 2025, I also uploaded my first YouTube video. And during that summer, I worked my ass off. I still remember the grind I was going through, working every single day, creating new ideas, trying to get my channel up. Still remember being so happy about getting like 500 views. And then the work finally paying off with one of my videos getting 25,000 views. I still remember the title. It was Armwrestling Gave Me Superpowers Nobody Asked For. Today, looking back at it, I have gone a long way in creating YouTube content, but back then I was extremely grateful, and that once again fueled me to improve even more, because I know as I'm building this community, then me improving and being able to share that knowledge with others, being seen as someone's reason to keep going in the sport, it all simply made sense to keep going, to keep driving. And I talked about Hala a lot on this channel. My first ever video was about him. My first episode of Road to Elite Arm Wrestling was about him. A couple of other videos. he was pretty much everywhere. And that made it more and more obvious that I had to overcome this obstacle. Through sheer will and determination, I started seeing results. Against the same guys we pulled against, I looked better than him often. Whenever the two of us sparred, I started to look more and more dominant against him. Everything was pointing in that direction of me succeeding. And I was ready once again. Our second match was underway. First round I went for the hook. It was a position that had worked when he sparred in the past. And it was also something I completely neglected. I denied that opportunity in the first fight. I wasn't gonna let my opportunity leave this time. Ready, go, I hit. And he cracked me like butter, man. My heart just fucking sank. All that fucking preparation, all the training, like the months of me, my ego rising, being certain that I had him this time. I should have been so much better, man. Second round I tried the top roll, but there was no way. He contained me without the straps. Third round I tried going for the flop press. I saw limited success, but once he was able to predict my move, it didn't matter at all. I got stopped in my tracks. And when there was only one round left, there was one last chance for me to try to pull it out from the dead. Ready, go. And he holds. I work the hand, I realized that my wrist is cracking, but I try to keep readjusting to get my favorable position. He's smiling, he's laughing, he's holding me easily. But I keep trying, and even without my wrist, I feel that I'm starting to get some sort of an engagement. His arm is starting to open up. And then he finally goes for the finishing hit. And there is a stop. At that particular moment, my heart fucking reignited. The one that had died in the first round was now back. I absolutely refused to lose this season. He's fully stretched in an offensive King's move. I am bleeding at an enormous rate, being in an absolutely horrible position, but I know that my endurance should be way better. My hand is gone, but the internal rotator was some way still holding up. But I knew that this was gonna be close. So I had two options. Either try to continue with the shoulder engagement or transition to the other extreme and try to gain the hand control. And so I did. I went for a fully stretched out King's move and I actually managed to break his hand. For a moment, I was actually winning the hand battle, but he also readjusted, going for the flop press. And I thought that if I got his wrist completely, he wouldn't have no way to press through my short arm, but he still pressed through. I am once again defeated. 4-1 for him, and I just start thinking in my head, there's just no way this is happening. I'm nervously laughing, but I'm dead inside. Both times I put in an insane amount of work, but it wasn't enough. One day, when it was the beginning of 2026, I was analyzing and trying to figure out my complete inability to top roll anyone. And that's when I found something. A small hole in my game that, in the long run, turned out to be absolutely fucking massive. My riser was always decent. My back pressure is amazing for my weight. For the longest time I thought that my weak pronation was holding me back, but that wasn't the case. I was always convinced that relative to my size, my wrist was incredibly strong. And it was. Well, at least when I was doing the wrist range cup. But that's when I noticed something. My wrist was holding up only when I was going for the hook. Whenever I tried to top roll, I lost it immediately. And then it clicked, the thing I have been missing all the fucking time. One exercise. The high cup multi-spinner. I found out that my bottom fingers were basically twice as strong as the top ones. So every time I would try to cup with a top roll, my riser would slide down horribly because my upper fingers simply couldn't hold up and my wrist would crack back. And then it fully clicked. Hala has always had a great riser, and his forearm is just a tad bit longer than mine, which means he attacks my upper fingers more than almost anyone I have ever pulled. And suddenly, everything made sense. So with the final upgrade to my equipment, it was time to get to work. So it's currently August the 3rd, and tomorrow I'm facing Hala for the third time. I've had so much failure and adversity when I faced him in the past. I've put thousands of hours working on everything, and I think I'm finally gonna get him. Either I win this, or I genuinely don't know if I ever beat him, like, ever. He will always be this shadow lingering over me. But I refuse for it to be the same as last time or the way it ended before that. I'm gonna be too aggressive, too ferocious. I don't think he's gonna be able to stop those hits. But we'll see.
Chlape, ani nevíš, kolik jsem musel dát do toho, vole, abych tě konečně, vole, porazil. Tam se jste roky vaše, vole, jak já se odpříšel. Aspoň děkuju.
4 years of adversity. 4 years of losing to the same guy. 4 years of trying to figure him out, trying to overcome him, trying to finally prove to myself that I could beat him. Now it was finally over. After everything I have been through, it's calm. I think there is one main lesson to learn from this. And that's that if you are truly passionate about something, then you should never give up. No matter if you feel like life has been treating you unfairly compared to others, adversity is what builds you the most. Never give up. Now let me switch for a bit to my native language, because I have a message to say to Hala directly. Hala, jestli tady to sleduješ, tak ti musím říct, že jsi změnil cestu mýho života víc než asi kdokoliv jiný. Víc než jsem si kdykoliv dokázal představit. Všechno, co ty tady okolo mě teďka vidíš, vzniklo v podstatě jako z velké části kvůli tobě. Byl jsi pro mě největší výzvou, kterou jsem se snažil celou tu dobu překonat. Největším krokem v mý sportovní kariéře. Donutil si mě pro páku pracovat víc, než jsem si kdykoliv předtím myslel. A nemohl bych za to být víc vděčný, protože mě to dostalo do bodu v mém životě, který si myslím, že je fakt výrazně lepší, než to bylo ty 4 roky zpátky. A dost podstatná část toho směru, kterým jsem se vydal, který si myslím, že je výrazně lepší než spoustu dalších cest, na kterých jsem mohl skončit, tak je to díky tobě. A věřím, že mi zase někdy do budoucna nakopeš prdel a já zase budu nucený se o tom dál připravovat. Takže asi tak. And as always, the journey is never over. I've already set myself bigger goals, and that's going to Europe. And to get there, I first have to battle through the European qualifier, as well as compete at the nationals. But more on that in the next episode. For now, I want to hear from you. Who is your biggest wrestling opponent? Who is your nemesis? Who is the one that has pushed you more than anyone? Or who is your biggest inspiration? Let me know down in the comments below. That's everything from me for today. I thank you a lot for watching. Once again, get the pay-per-views. I'm Blackbird, and bye-bye.